Hi guys, welcome back to Gearjunkies TV and a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Moog Subsequent 25. So, the Moog Subsequent 25. Some of your viewers might think, now, has this not been around for a long time? Well, it is, kinda, but also it is not. Moog released the synth as a successor to the Sub-Fedi in the spring of 2020 after introducing it on the NAMM. But as we all know, the world news was dominated by the pandemic, lockdowns and other restrictions by then. So it fell in a kind of a hole. At least it seemed to me it was not getting much attention. Fast forward 1.5 years later and I came across it again and played with it. And it blew my mind how good it sounds and how much fun it is to work with. So I decided to buy it and give you a video of what it can do and how it sounds. But before we go there, you can stay informed about all our videos by subscribing to our channel. Just click the subscribe button below the video and you can hit the bell button to get notifications when there's something new on our channel. As said, the Subsequent 25 is the successor to the Sub-Fedi. It almost has the same specifications, so let me mention some highlights. It is 2-note, paraphonic, and of course it's a fully analog synthesizer. There's a new high headroom for the tones of the filter. The keybed was upgraded and it's still 25 notes. There's a ladder filter with a reshaped gain stage, and of course this is a classic Moog filter with some extras which we will see later. There's a new circuit inside the Multidrive. Moog calls it retuned. But of course you can still overdrive the filter very well with it. 2 oscillators, a sub-oscillator and noise, dual ADSR envelope generators, an LFO with sample and hold, and on the left you have 16 presets, and finally there's also a Mac and Windows editor plugin, which we will take a look at later. It has a 25 key keypad and it has a solid metal build with wooden side panels. I must say I like the look and feel a lot. It feels solid, it looks amazing, the knobs have a very good feel when you operate them, and the keyboard may not be the best I've ever played, but it works well and it has a solid feel to it. On the side panel on the left there's the power input, and it has a built-in power supply, which is rare nowadays, especially in compact music machines. And also in this panel are CV and gate inputs, a volume CV and filter CV input, external audio in, mono audio out, MIDI in and out, and a USB connection. Let's go over the knobs on the panel. They are all very well arranged, I think, and from left to right we have some knobs for pitch and glide, modulation, oscillators, mixer, filter, envelopes and an output stage. So as mentioned, there are 2 oscillators. Both of them can be set to 16 feet, 8 feet, 4 feet and 2 feet settings. There's a detuning knob for the second oscillator, a hard sync button, and both of them have a selection of waves which you can dial through using these knobs. And both of these oscillators go into the mixer. Then there's a sub oscillator for the first one, and you can mix it together with the oscillator 1 and 2, and there's a noise stage I'll let you listen to the oscillators. Go from sawtooth to, from triangle to sawtooth. To square wave. And to a square wave with the variable pulse width. Now the second oscillator has the same functions, so I'll just turn the mixer up and let you listen to both of them. And with hard sync on. Then there's of course the noise that we can add to the mixer. Let's take a listen to the filter. I've reset the preset that I'm using, so I'll just dial up the filter knob. Let me check another patch, maybe we can listen to the filter a bit better. Resonance. The Multidrive gives a special sound to the filter stage, and it makes the smooth sound of the Moog sound more gritty, more aggressive. But all is done in a really nice analog way. So I think it's best if I just let you listen to what it does. Other controls here are the envelope amount, positive and negative, and there's a keyboard amount, so you can add some more higher harmonics as you play higher in the octave range. I use the octave buttons to go higher in the range. And now we can hear what happens. Now there are two envelopes. One of them is dedicated to the filter and the other one is dedicated to the amplifier. Both have an attack, decay, sustain, release, and that's pretty straightforward. There's a dedicated modulation section with one LFO, and it has a choice of waveforms, namely triangle, square, sawtooth and reverse sawtooth, a sample and hold, and it can also react to the filter envelope. The modulation wheel controls the amount of modulation that goes into the several parameters that you can set, and I'll just let you listen to how it sounds. With these knobs you can set the modulation to pitch amount, filter amount and wave amount. So the oscillators will run through the various wave shapes that you can manually control with these buttons, but in this way they are attached to the modulation. With all the controls here you can play and edit the Subsequent 25 as a full monophonic synthesizer. But Moog did not stop there. There's a whole world of extra options that you can set on the synth, and for this you have two modes, the shift mode and the hidden functions mode. Both of them can be invoked from the panel. You enter shift with pressing the bank 4 button and then pressing activate panel button. All the knobs on the panel now have extended functions. For instance, the envelope controls things like filter envelope decay and the hold stage. The hidden functions can be set with pressing the bank 1 button and pressing the activate panel button again. Now you can set additional parameters like monophonic or duophonic mode, or switch the filter character. Even the keypad keys are used for this, so several of them invoke several hidden functions. The manual explains this all very well with graphics and examples and gives tips on how to put the functions to good use, but it is a lot to remember, and for this Moog has supplied us with a software editor for the Subsequent 25. It runs on any DAW, and you can connect the Subsequent 25 to it via the USB connection. The editor works in Mac and Windows, and you can use it standalone as well as a plugin in your DAW. Because all the functions of the Subsequent 25 have MIDI control, you can use the panel on the synth to operate the editor, and vice versa, you can send all changes you make in the editor in real time to the synth. So let's go over the editor briefly. It follows the same layout as the synth, with on the left controls for glide, then the modulation section, oscillators, mixer, filter, the the two envelopes, and in the bottom section there's some additional controls. For instance, the LFO range can be set here, which is one of the hidden functions of the Subsequent 25. You can play around with different settings for the pitch bend and modulation wheel. There's an oscillator beat frequency, feedback external input knob setting, preset volume, so you can adjust this volume per preset, and the filter has different characteristics. It can be set to a 1-pole, 2-pole, 3-pole or 4-pole. And then there is the voice control here. It can be set to last note, high note or low note, like this. There's a mono or duophonic function, and here we have several parameters for the delay of the envelope, hold function, velocity to amount, velocity to time, the gate source, and the envelope filter amount from the keyboard. So if I play a sequence, I can edit every section here on the panel like this, and especially with resonance and multidrive on, you can hear the difference between the filter poles. There's a librarian built in, so if we go to there, we have on the left we have a browser with all the various presets and some additional banks that have been put in here by Moog for you, and we can just select another sound here and play it. It will sound immediately. Special controls here include MIDI sync of the LFO and at the oscillator gate here. So you can make some extra settings when you use the CVA gate functions of the Subsequent 25 to have it act a little different than normal. In total, I think the editor gives you a lot of extra control, stuff that you also have if you use the shift function on the Subsequent 25 itself. But here you have a nice overview, and besides that, if you use it as a plugin in your DAW, you can even map the extra controls to an extra MIDI controller with knobs and faders to have more real-time control over the synth. But also, if you use the plugin, you can record all the knobs from the panel as well as from the synth itself, and use automation to play back these at other functions. This together makes it a very powerful addition, I think, to the synth, and gives you lots of possibilities, especially if you want to include it in sequences or in sound design, or if you want to sync it to any other device, or even to, for instance, a movie or a video. So, what do we think of the Subsequent 25? Well, as you already guessed, I really love this synth. I just think the total package works very well. The deep, massive sound, the overdrive circuit, and the form factor with its compact keyboard and the very nice styling and build quality. That is itself already justifies the synth's existence and usefulness. But if you want more, there's a lot to explore with the extra functions and the editor. And if you want even more, Just connect a CV-based controller, synth or modular system and another world of possibilities opens up. It's really nice as a starter synth, but equally appealing to players during live shows, sound designs and home and professional studios. The few things it lacks, like an arpeggiator or the limited presets, don't bother me, but if you really want those without having to use extra devices, you can consider its bigger brother, the Subsequent 37. Anyways, it is absolutely a Moog in every sense of the word. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see all our videos in the future. See you next time.